Okay, update 3. Yeah, I'm done there. Go ahead and lock that up. Update. Okay. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna be the last one out again, but it's closer to regular quitting time, so that's fine. I had to get some more yard work done here, and I came in and painted on the firebox again. Got that all done up to that ridge up there, uh, where the two plates overlap, and pretty soon that all has to be macro epoxy because we cannot wait any longer. We'll have to get the stuff back on it. As you can see, a lot of this is going on, and now we gotta work around it. So in order for this thing to be running in October, it all has to go on anyway. So that's why we're in such a hurry to get that done. Still trying to get the Boilermakers to finish up the combustion chamber here. And as you can see, a lot of the bolts that we need to paint now have pipes in the way of them. So those are going to be the worst. But like I pointed out yesterday, the tanks are on the engineer's side, but we still got to do the fireman's side tank. So Kevin was working on some more the brackets for the pipes today, and he hung those the back part of the catwalk on. So I was able to get up there and paint from that. It's not tightened down, but it is pretty much ready to be once more the pipes go on. And they re-welded this down here, so I gotta paint that too eventually. So a work in progress. I gotta get the other side hopefully next week, and then it'll all be macro epoxied. He was trying to torch stuff off at the bottom of the cab for the rest of the fittings in there. Still gotta get the guy to paint inside there once that's all done. Response to Pere Marquette 1223. I saw your video on the 040 tank engine near you, the narrow gauge one, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. Although you commented on how the guy said that it didn't need a bunker because it was so small that just had the coal on the floor. That's probably false. I mean, that would be a very short range if there was just coal on the floor of the cab, and that's also not very work safe kind of environment. I think that they would even frown upon that back in the day. What it probably had was a small tender behind it. I know a tank engine with a tender, that's pretty weird, but it probably just carried the fuel. There were some that did carry both water and as well as fuel, but most of them just carried the fuel, since the tank could carry most of the water that it needed. 75 here, of course, just has the sail tank and the bunkers for coal in the back. But a good example of a tank engine that ran with a tender is about 50 years older than this, the Minnetonka at the Minnesota Transportation Museum, or Iron Museum, whatever it's called. The name escapes me right now, but Minnetonka was built in the 1880s for the Northern Pacific, I believe, and it's now housed in that museum. And I want to come out here now, and I'm going to shut this place down for the day. That way I don't run up the bill for Kevin. See, say goodnight, 1225. There we go. And okay, now we're good. Just gotta lock this door, and should be okay. As long as this thing seals here. I'm always having trouble with the doors. But yep, there we go. No one's breaking in there. Okay, a little short response here. First I want to show you, we got former Central Michigan GP38 number 2014 in the yard. In the deadline here, came down for Bay City on the local run-through freight on here on Eastern. I guess they're contracting out some repairs for it here at the GLC yard in Owasso. It's a very interesting locomotive, not just for the paint job. If you can see here, let me go around and just show you something here. Here's the 76. I'll talk about that in a minute again. Yeah, see the back end here. What's weird is that he's got a vertical back headlight, and usually a Jeep will have either a single back headlight or a double one that's horizontal. This one has a double that's vertical. So this is a pretty rare looking beast. And it's something to have. I don't think I've ever seen it here in Owasso, other than on the actual former Grand Trunk line. And also, a little surprise is that I believe it used to be the Beaver Valley, but the GLC painted its dining car. I'm pretty sure it's the Beaver Valley. It's 1342. It's a very nice, sharp-looking paint job they did to it. And I'll get a better view like that. See, it matches the locomotives now, the blue and the white, although it has a black roof and trucks. So kind of like our cars. Kind of reminds me of like the Great Northern Big Sky Blue, only it's a much deeper blue. And it's got the two white stripes instead of the big band on the top. But I think it's a nice paint job. So in response to JRA HRIG's viewers on John's channel, I think that's what Great Lakes is going to start repainting their pasture fleet as. As you can see, here's the 5447 over here still in the brown. That's the one that was in here for some of the rides we gave behind the 75. Now it's getting busy. We don't need that one. We got the lounge car that has the generator on it, and then the two coaches plus the caboose. So we'll probably just using those, and this one will probably be on our longer trips again once we get more people on those. We'll see if they repaint it or not anytime soon. Maybe they'll do it before Train Festival next year. Well, excuse me, Train Expo. That's what we're calling it, just in case you missed the last update. So I'm looking forward to them doing more of those. It's a pretty nice paint scheme. Anyway, I also wanted to respond again to Pere Marquette 1223 on the 76. He said that the update that I did on this locomotive, that we should have asked about other locomotives in the state and things like that. I said that we had originally looked into Duran's 5632. Looks like we got Cinders down here playing around. Cinders, go back inside or look for mice. He ain't listening. Anyway, yeah, the 5632, we tried to get a lease from the city to get it running, and then we'd give it back to them in the winter to put in like a pavilion or something when we weren't operating it during the season, and they went less, although I would have expected that. But then Pere Marquette 1223 commented that we should have looked into the 5030 that's in Jackson, another 462. If I recall, that's in pretty bad shape, in even worse shape than this locomotive is in a way. The main point being that this locomotive is smaller compared to that one, and it would just be a real hassle. That was one of the things that we looked at when we were looking for another steam locomotive, was how bad of shape it was in. So the 5030 would be a nice locomotive to see running, just like 5632, but if you think about it, it would be a real hassle, more of a hassle than this one because it's bigger, and because it's kind of landlocked in a way, because we have to pull it up on CN or put it on a flat car or at least try, because we couldn't fit something of its size onto a flatbed semi. We could have done that with this one, but this one we were able to get onto a depressed center flat car and breed in all the way up the Ann Arbor Railroad from NS and here on the Great Lakes Central, because they're much nicer with steam locomotives or special loads. So that's where we sit. He also mentioned the Bessemer and Lake Erie 280 that's in the Henry Ford Museum. Something on that, the Henry Ford is pretty particular about what they got and what they would be willing to give up, and sometimes they're two totally different things. And something in that great shape that's doing well inside the museum, they would probably be interested in restoring at a future date and not necessarily giving it away to a place like this, which isn't bad. I mean, we're working on the 1225 pretty good, and we hope to, if we can, get the 76 going again. Plus we got other steam locomotives we host. But that's where that is. And the comment further on that would be hearsay, because we just don't know right now, because we're trying to use all our money on the 1225 and getting that running hopefully by October, which is why some of our fleet is suffering. We're just trying to do light repairs on them now and get them ready for their next paint job, like the power car here and the tool car, the green tool car, which will become be painted like the combine and the rest of our fleet. So that's where we stand. Although that's not the only thing that's been happening, I've been working some on the sleeping car, trying to get the stainless steel cleaned and polished so that it's protected. I bought silver duct tape to seal up the cracks. I know it's a temporary fix, but I don't want it leaking anymore. They said they took some of the stainless off last year and found that it was starting to rust through, and that's probably because of the leaks from the cracks of it that is in the stainless from where the old signs used to be. And we got the signs restored, but we can't hang them up there until we work on the rest of the car. We're looking to get some paint on that probably by this fall. So I've been cleaning that, and last year I cleaned off and sanded the top of the Pere Marquette boxcar here, and got some Rust-Oleum brown paint on it, except for under the catwalk. I gotta do that hopefully pretty soon, and do the catwalk itself, which is some more work, because I was afraid that when I went up there last year, there was no paint left, just rust patches, and I was afraid the seams were gonna leak, so I got all up in there and cleaned it off and got repainted before the fall. So hopefully soon, once we're done with the 1225, I'll also get some money for the freight cars and get those all fixed up and painted too. I'm looking at a grant for $25,000. That would get us pretty much enough for all 6 of the cars that we need to have redone. None of the passenger fleet, but the freight cars, the 4 box cars that we got, the 1 tank car, and the D&M gone, all need some work. So we also got some stuff over here. The weeds have really come up now, and we gotta get some trustees from the jail in here to whack that down, because I'm not going there allergy wise. It would be suicide. We tried to spray some, but we don't want to like put Roundup in it, because that will kill the grass, and then we'll have a whole bunch of chemicals probably going into the river. So we don't want that. We'll try and get someone out here to cut all that down and hopefully reveal our stuff that we need to keep. Hopefully we'll get another box car to put it in. I don't know what Kevin has in mind. We're going to be cleaning up under this canopy tent here, and that'll be going on the other side of the shop once we get the money for the cement pad. All the money that was there originally we put back into 1225 because we really want to get that running. So by next year we're hoping that thing gets moved over there. The container for the miniature trains has been moved already, and the track has been laid to that, and once Butch is done with all the track in there and to where it's not quite being under construction, I'll get another update on that. But I gotta go right now, because hopefully I can salvage the rest of the day. after painting like that, it was really hot up there, and I'm kind of uncomfortable and tired. So I'll be back next week and see if maybe I'll get another update. Maybe they'll be working on the superheaters. We'll see what happens. So from SRI, update 3 and the response to all your questions so far. We'll see what happens here, July 2013.